The English Podcast by Ecsplicite. Hello and welcome to the podcast. I'm Lawrence, and in today's podcast we're curious to learn more about one of the United States' biggest sporting events of the year. Well, whether or not you're a fan of American football, the Super Bowl is the ultimate sporting antidote to midwinter blues, bringing spills and thrills, pageantry and music, family and friends all together to celebrate a jaw-dropping, heart-pounding sporting and commercial extravaganza which makes for compulsive watching. So, the question for today is, which of the following sports is closest to American football? Is it A, football, or soccer as it's known in the United States, B, rugby league, or C, basketball? Well, we'll come back to that at the end of the episode. And to learn more about the Super Bowl, we have enlisted the help of our American colleague Olivia, currently living in Richmond, Kentucky, who kindly agreed to answer some of our questions. So, first up, what exactly is the Super Bowl?
The Super Bowl started in 1966. There was a merger between the National Football League, or NFL, and its competing American Football League in order to have their best teams compete for a championship. It's evolved into an event that's, at least for 2023, is estimated to generate $14 billion. How? Through sponsorships, through merchandise, tickets, and through the very famous Super Bowl commercials. It seems unbelievable, but this year the cost of a 30-second commercial will run you $6.5 million.
Yes, you did hear that correctly. A 30-second spot for a television commercial during the Super Bowl costs the advertiser $6.5 million. So, Olivia, can you tell us about any traditions around the event?
Super Bowl traditions. You know, the Super Bowl is entirely a product of popular culture. It doesn't have religious or governmental roots. It simply exists as a consumer product. And yet, the Super Bowl is a stronger cultural event than many official holidays and has just as many traditions surrounding it as Thanksgiving or Christmas. People love getting together, wearing their team jerseys, and the most diehard fans will even sport some face paint, which is crazy. The last 10 years or so, more and more attention has been given to the halftime show. The biggest names appear on that temporary stage and perform their greatest hits. Some people actually tune in just to watch the halftime show.
So it's a tradition as strong as Thanksgiving or Christmas, and the halftime show with Justin Timberlake or Jennifer Lopez will attract millions of viewers. So what is going on around you in the run-up to this event?
So before the Super Bowl, you're going to get a review of how the teams did. Were there any upsets or surprises? Meaning maybe a team's been eliminated when it was predicted that they'd go really far, or maybe an underdog made it much further than anybody expected them to. And then you're going to start seeing companies give little sneak peeks or backgrounds on the commercials you can expect. Remember, these commercials are so expensive and people watch for the commercials. So we expect them to be ingenious or hilarious or something just to knock your socks off. Different entertainment television programs might have a competition for the best recipe for your Super Bowl party, where people in different households across the United States will submit their famous recipe and then show up to teach you how to make it. Even famous chefs are giving step-by-step directions on what you could make. Some people will tell you that the food is the secret to a successful Super Bowl party.
We knew that food was in there somewhere. So the Super Bowl is as much about what's happening before or around the event as the match itself. Is the game followed by a large part of the population or only by the big fans of American football?
Most Americans will be watching the Super Bowl. The majority of them will be at an actual Super Bowl party. Many do follow football, but others are there just for the fun, the friends, the food, and the halftime show. This is not like watching a movie where everyone is really quiet and respectful of everybody and paying strict attention. No, this is the time where you're second guessing each play called by the coach, you're shouting encouragement, and basically you're trash talking everybody who is not cheering for your team.
Do you have a personal story to tell us about the Super Bowl?
A story about the Super Bowl. I have to be honest with you, I don't like sports. I go to a Super Bowl simply for the party aspect of it. But when I was a university student, I studied marketing, and we had a teacher who, during every spring semester, would give the assignment to watch the Super Bowl specifically for the commercials and write a pretty lengthy paper about what we saw, what we liked, any trends, things like that. Everyone knows that companies go all out for the events. They really try to outdo themselves because they know the whole country is watching. So some people tune in simply for those commercials.
Well, a very big thank you to you, Olivia, for this interesting and informative introduction to the Super Bowl. So let's go back to our question for today, which, if you remember, was, which of the following sports is closest to American football? Is it A, soccer, B, rugby league, or C, basketball? Well, there are similarities with all three. Like football, there are 11 players. Like rugby, it's a contact sport and the ball is oval. And like basketball, tactical player changes and timeouts are possible. But in our opinion, the closest answer is B, rugby league, because of the territorial style of play and the fact that you score by crossing the home line of the opposing team. Though, ironically, one major difference is that you can only pass the ball backwards, which would sound very strange to American football fans. Anyway, I don't know about you, but I, for one, shall make more of an effort this year to follow this pretty amazing event. Thanks for listening, and bye for now.